welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be transforming myself into Te Fiti from the movie Moana. My daughter and I love that movie, and Te Fiti is one of our favorite characters. So to transform myself into Te Fiti, first of all, I need to make myself green. I'm going to use Paradise paints in the color light green. This is a water activated paint. So I'm going to use a Real Techniques brush, wet it, and stipple this all over my face, my ears, my neck, and my chest. This was the first time that I ever painted my entire face a different color. This is the first time I ever used Paradise paints, so I wasn't very sure on how to work it, because since it's a water activated paint, if you try to go over the paint that you have already on your face with the wet brush, it's going to pick up the color, like you can see right here on my forehead. I was trying to add coverage, but instead I took it away because my brush was too wet. So you just got to be careful to not have your brush too wet, or it's actually going to remove color instead of adding it. And I decided to stipple the paint on because I wanted it to look textured. In the movie, Te Fiti really has textured skin because it's supposed to be like little bushes, like greenery, trees and stuff. So that's why I decided to stipple it all over, because I wanted it to look kind of textured like a tree. Next, I'm going to highlight my face using a white concealer. This is from Morphe. Now, I did struggle a little with this concealer, so if you want to recreate this look, I recommend you use a thicker concealer, like a creamier one, not so liquidy, because again, this water activated paint will be removed with water or anything liquidy. So I was having trouble with this concealer because it kept picking up the paint. So at the end, it all worked out well, but I did struggle a little, and you will see that in the video. So I just went from concealing my under eye to concealing my nose because I forgot that I had to try to make myself look like Te Fiti. So I pulled out my reference picture and I started highlighting my nose like Te Fiti's. I really wanted my nose to look as much like Te Fiti's as possible because that is a very prominent feature in all the characters of Moana. They all have a very short, round nose. So I was trying to highlight my nose to make it look wider and rounder. To blend the edges of my concealer, I'm using the same brush as before with no additional product, and I'm going to be adding concealer and blending it a couple of times to get the coverage that I want because it kept lifting up the green paint. So my under eye concealer turned out much brighter than I wanted it to be, and now it's only going to get even brighter because I am setting it with some translucent powder from e.l.f. But I had to get it to look like that because I wasn't getting the coverage that I wanted because the paint kept lifting. It's okay because we'll fix that later with some eyeshadow. So I'm going to take that same powder and apply it with a fluffy brush and set all the green face paint. I'll be using the Take Me Back to Brazil palette by BH for the green matte eyeshadows, as well as the Morphe James Charles palette, but I mostly use the BH. Now, these eyeshadows are super tiny, so it was a struggle to pick it up. So just pinch your brush to make it as small as possible so that you don't accidentally dip into any of the colors next to it. So I'm taking a darker green color and contouring my cheeks, and I'm making sure to make my cheeks look very round, just like Te Fiti's. Looking back at my reference photo, I'm going to try and make my nose look as round and perky as I can, like Te Fiti's nose, with some eyeshadow. I'm making sure to contour around the highlight parts of my nose to make it look like natural shadows. Highlighting my nose with white eyeshadow and making sure to apply it wider than the actual size of my nose so that it can look wider. I'm also going to be contouring it much more separated than I usually do, again to make it look wider. And this is what the nose is looking like so far. So after dusting away the powder under my eyes, I was left with some little blotchy marks where the concealer lifted up the paint, but I will just keep trying to fix that with some powder and eyeshadow and making it work. So now I'm moving on to the eyes, and for this I'm going to be using only the BH Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to try and make it look as much like Te Fiti's eyes as I can. So she has a pretty defined crease, so I will be cutting the crease. It's a completely matte eye, and her eyes look lighter on the outer corners and darker on the inner corners, so I'm going to make sure to create that as well. So my nose kept bothering me because something was looking off. It just wasn't looking wide enough, and I figured out it was because I didn't draw my nostrils. So I'm just taking some black eyeshadow and making my nostrils look bigger, wider, and more separated. And now I am much happier with how my nose looks, and now we can go back to the eyes and cut the crease. So like I mentioned, Moana has a lighter color on the outer edge of her lid and a darker one on the inner part of her lid, so that is what I'm creating here. This is what the eyes are currently looking like. Now I wanted to define my crease a little more, so I took a pencil brush and the crease color that I used earlier and defined my crease, darkened it up, and blended it out. So now to define my bottom lash line, I'm going to add some darker green eyeshadow. And now I'm dusting off the powder from under my eyes, and I'm also applying a tiny bit of green eyeshadow to mute out that white. Te Fiti's eyebrows are very defined, square on the inner parts and close together, so that's what I'm going to do with my eyebrows. And I'm taking the darkest green eyeshadow from the Morphe James Charles palette for this. So she is coming together. Te Fiti is coming to life. I'm actually looking a little bit like Fiona right here too. So now I neglected my forehead like completely, and even the outer parts of my eyebrow, because I'm going to be wearing a wig and a flower crown that is going to cover it up, so I didn't even bother doing anything to my forehead. So I am concealing the natural color of my lips with some green face paint. Warning, I didn't know this until the day after I did this, but it said on there that blue and green face paint should not be applied to the lips because it causes irritation. So I didn't experience any irritation, but I did have chapped lips for almost a week after doing this. Te Fiti's lips are round and the top lip is darker and larger than the bottom lip, so I'm trying to create that with some eyeshadow, my eyeshadow pencil brush, and my finger. Now we're gonna switch our eyes to some green ones, and we're gonna apply some fluffy eyelashes. These are Ardell 854, and I think they look so similar to Te Fiti's eyelashes because hers are so fluffy and beautiful, and I think these match perfectly. And our transformation is almost complete. Now we just need green hair. So this is the first time that I ever wear a wig. I didn't know what I was doing. I was in a hurry, so I just quickly glanced at the instructions and I didn't even understand it because it was just pictures. But I just smoothed out my hair, put it in a low ponytail, and then managed to get the net on my head without ruining my makeup, and shoved my hair inside of the net and try to put that wig on and make it look as nice as possible. I have no idea how to put a wig on. Oh my god. So now I'm just going to adjust my wig and make it centered, and I wanted to show you that it has straps on the back that you can adjust to tighten the wig, but it was already really tight because of my low ponytail, so I didn't need to adjust that any further, and my wig never moved and it never like flew away or anything like that. And this headband I made with all products from the Dollar Tree. I used glow sticks, 3 glow sticks to make a circle, and then I hot glued a bunch of pink flowers and green leaves to it, and I think it turned out really, really pretty and very inexpensive. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, I'm not gonna tie it because it already feels really, really tight on my head because I have a huge, I don't even know if you can tell that I have a huge bump back here because my hair is so long. But I love how this looks. Oh my gosh. If you guys enjoyed this Te Fiti tutorial, then please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it so much. I know I'm a little late on Halloween, but today is Halloween and I'm about to go out looking like this. I'm so excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye.